Oh, what up? How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy. We're here to present you our NFL Week 1 wide receiver picks. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NFL, MLB, and NBA videos. And if you haven't came and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily FanDuel and DraftKings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure you can check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, what up, Jeremy? How you doing out there, bro?
Yo, what's up, man?
Hey, not much, man. Another day, another dollar. I'm ready to get this money this weekend, and yeah, man, I'm ready to talk some football. Yeah, I'm juiced for this week. Sunday's gonna be a fun day. Barbecue, have a couple of little cervezas real quick, jump in the pool, and enjoy the first Sunday of the NFL season. You got any plans?
Yeah, man. So before we get started, it's not just opening weekend of NFL. We've also got 11 o'clock Pacific time tomorrow. I believe you've got an MMA fight, right? A pretty big UFC event.
Right.
So make sure you check out the website. Our boy Beer breaking that down. You got a NASCAR race also, I believe. Our boy Tyler will break that down. And you've got Major League Baseball on top of opening weekend in the NFL. So not a better time, man. Not a better time.
Yeah, for sure. So, hey, if you haven't already, make sure and go take advantage of our NFL Luxury Box Special. 175 one-time price. You get all the NFL, the rest of MLB, plus you're going to get NBA under one price tag. You get all of our daily content, everything that we got. So make sure to check it out. DFSCheatSheet.com. Use promo code NFL 2019. And yeah, man, let's go. I'm ready to talk some football, talk to these wide receivers for this weekend. You ready?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Cool. So, we got there's a lot of wide receivers we can look at. Obviously, you have to pick three wide receivers every single week. So it's kind of it's the position that you kind of have to go a little bit more deeper in, I would say, in my opinion, just because you have to play three for sure. Compared to running backs, you can pick two and kind of move on. So yeah, let's talk. We're gonna kind of go the way we did yesterday. We'll kind of start with the higher end guys, and we'll work our way down. So we'll clump up the first two guys in the higher end, and then we'll go from there. First two guys we'll throw out there. Both guys actually have, they have question marks next to them. You got Julio Jones, you got Odell Beckham. You got Julio's 8.5, Odell 8.2. What do you think about those guys? First thing before we do really get into them, Julio, he has a questionable tag. He's saying he's going to play. Odell Beckham, he's probable he's going to play. Odell Beckham, his hip is bothering him. And he made a comment the other day that basically it was like a car that's driving and the car is driving absolutely fine, but the alignment is off a little bit. And that's kind of the paraphrase that Odell made, that his hip is just bothering him a little bit, but he's going to be okay for week one. So what are your thoughts on those two higher end guys?
Julio practiced today. He's fine. He'll play. And Odell Beckham, he also practiced. He's fine. He'll play.
Yeah, and one thing I just want to quickly throw out there, it literally just came in right now as we are speaking. Antonio Brown, after all the drama that's been going on, it's been all over the news, he will be playing week one. So I just want to throw that out there as well. You want to touch that situation, or you want to move on?
Look, man, I've been very irritated with this situation. Watching Hard Knocks, no matter who's on it, is one of my favorite shows. Just being a football coach and getting an inside look at the day-to-day of what goes on. And here's the thing, right? If this was high school football or this was college football, you got to hold the person accountable, right? But now this is the NFL. You're talking about grown men. You're talking about messing with somebody's money. And the Raiders and Mike Mayock knew exactly what they were doing. And they went on Hard Knocks and they went on national TV in interviews. Hard Knocks just happened to be there and said they supported the guy with this helmet issue. If they would have just said, look, Antonio, we support you. You want to get the right helmet. You want to file a grievance, fine. But you need to practice. If you don't practice, we're going to fine you. They would have had an understanding. Antonio Brown would have been there, or he would have not been there. It would have been his choice, and he would have known he was going to get fined. What I don't like is that they fine him after the fact, and then when Antonio Brown just posted on his Instagram the letter of him being fined, and all Antonio Brown said was, even your own team's hating, everybody's on notice, right?
Right.
Mike Mayock should have called Antonio Brown into his office. He's the general manager of the team. He should have called him into the office.
Yeah, no, I feel like Antonio Brown was just feeling a little bit
The
played.
grown man.
Right.
Yeah, but bro, you don't go – if you're the general manager, you should be held to a higher standard, right? You don't go out to the practice field seeking a confrontation with a grown man about his money in front of other grown men and not expect a confrontation.
Yeah, for sure. Making him look like a punk.
So I just feel like it was handled bad. Antonio Brown looks like he's doing the right thing. He's going to take the high road, issue the apology, do the whole thing, and the world will be right. What I thought would happen yesterday, I think happened. John Gruden, the cooler head will prevail. Gruden's got a 10-year contract. He can weather more than Mayock can. He can weather more than Antonio Brown can. He's not going anywhere. I thought Gruden would – cooler heads would prevail. That's exactly what we got. I said yesterday, find the guy $100,000 and move on.
Right. So let's get back on track. Julio Beckham, are you really into any of them, or are they more just GPP plays this week? What do you think?
Yeah, so I like both of them a lot. I did say that I think Minnesota's defense will be improved. I think that they'll bounce back. Their head coach has been a defensive coordinator basically his whole career before getting this head coaching job. And they get, Linval Joseph back. They've got an outstanding defensive line. I think Matt Ryan will have to throw the ball. I don't think they'll find a lot of success in the run game. They've got weapons. I like Julio. I like all three receivers. I like Julio, I like Ridley, and I like Mohamed Sanu. Mohamed Sanu's at a really good price. So I like all the Atlanta receivers. We know the upside of Julio Jones. Odell Beckham Jr., I like him because as a GPP play.
Right.
Because if you get man-to-man coverage, I think that these guys can – I think that somebody in this mix is going to get a lot of targets.
Yeah.
Could be Njoku over the middle of the field, mismatch against a linebacker. It could be Landry. It could be Odell Beckham Jr. I think Adoree Jackson covers Odell Beckham Jr., so I think he's an upside GPP play, but I'm not going all in on him. I think, like you said when you started this off, there's some other guys that offer quite a bit more upside for this particular week.
For sure. Moving down a little bit lower price tier, I'm looking at a couple guys. I think that, honestly, all three of these guys are GPPs. We'll quickly touch on all of them. We're talking about Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, Tyreek Hill. They're 7.7, 7.6, right there in that price tag. What do you think about those guys?
So Mike Evans did not practice today. He's got some kind of an illness. So you'll have to wait now until Sunday morning to see if he's on the inactive or active list. I fully expect Mike Evans to play here. I expect
him to play too. He's a guy he's one of those guys that always – he's like Julio. They always carry questionable tags, but for the most part, they always are on the field. There's some guys that sit out games because they're soft, but Mike Evans, he usually plays for the most part.
The only thing I don't like here, which puts me a little bit on the fence with Mike Evans, is if he has the flu – then we're talking now about a hydration issue. I'm not saying that he won't play, but if he's got the flu and he's missed practice with the flu, you're looking at, they're going to pump him full of fluids and try to flush that out. And then you tend to feel heavy. It's really, really, really hot there.
Yeah,
right?
Slow you down a little bit.
Absolutely, man. So, Mike Evans is a good play. I think the 49ers improved defense. I just would caution the illness and want to know, what it was. Did he have the flu or what?
Yeah, and, talking about Keenan Allen, I like Keenan Allen, bro. He's a guy I've been playing the past couple of years. The thing about Keenan Allen is he reminds me exactly basically of what is his name for the Green Bay Packers? What is
Davante Adams?
Yeah, Adams, because Aaron Rodgers, he just forces the ball to Adams over and over. And Phillip Rivers, he's the same way. He knows that Mike Evans is his best receiver. Mike Evans last year, he was averaging I think when he was healthy, 12, 13 targets a game. Phillip Rivers is a guy that's going to throw him the ball a lot, and he's a guy that I played a lot in cash games, and I don't see much changing this year. And now that they're probably not going to have Melvin Ingram this week, so I think that I really like Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen is a really really good play at 7.7.
I like Keenan Allen, and I think Keenan Allen's a better play on DK than he is on FanDuel. And the reason I'm going to say that is Mike Williams. Mike Williams,
Right.
He came on the scene tough last
Right.
year, right? And Keenan Allen is a target monster. He's a game. Mike Williams, that they've got. I mean, Phillip Rivers has said that they have huge plans for him to be a major part of their offense this year. And at 6,400 on FanDuel, I like Mike Williams. I think Keenan Allen is cool in cash because of the floor with him as far as targets and receptions and being a chain mover goes, and it's a really good price tag at 7,700 to open up the season with.
Right.
But Mike Williams is the upside guy, man. I mean, this guy could have 2 tubs. He could be their he's a bigger target. He could be their red zone target.
Right.
They also get back Hunter Henry this year, another red zone guy. So Keenan Allen, I like him for the floor. If his price tag stays in this range, I like him in cash. But tournament play, I like other guys.
Yeah. So talking about tournament guys, Keenan. Okay, so this is a really good comparison. We say Keenan Allen is a really good cash game play. $100 less, you can go with Tyreek Hill, and I feel like he's more of the GPP version in that same price range, because of the big play upside. Do you agree with that?
Correct. So, I mean, look back to last year. Jacksonville came into Kansas City. The only game in which Patrick Mahomes didn't throw a touchdown pass. And in that game, 7 targets, 4 receptions, 61 yards for Tyreek Hill. I just think there's something to this, man. I think there's something to – you throw 50 touchdown passes last year, and you know that the one team you didn't get one against was Jacksonville, and you didn't have any big plays. I remember a play in the end zone that Tyreek Hill had broken up. It kind of feels like there's something to it to me. You know what I mean? Like, but Jacksonville's secondary their defense is really good.
Right. No, for sure. So that's what I said. I mean, for me, Hill is strictly GPP. I just quickly we'll just talk about these guys that are on the same team. I like them personally, both of them, and they're both almost the exact same price. You got Thielen, you got Diggs, 7.4 and 7.2, going against the Atlanta's defense, who we just mentioned. It's a horrible defense. And we talked about it yesterday with the running backs. Atlanta, instead of trying to improve their defense, they improved their offense even more. So I feel like this game is definitely going to be a shootout between Atlanta and Minnesota. And I really like Thielen and Diggs, and they're both very fair price tags at 7.4 and 7.2.
So let me say this. I feel like everybody in the world is on Dalvin Cook, and rightfully so. We talked about it last night. Atlanta has glaring holes on their defense and 2 first-round draft picks, and they did nothing to address the defense. So I think that I know that I really like Kirk Cousins, and I really like Adam Thielen, and I really like Stephon Diggs. And the reason I really like them is there's so many people that are on Dalvin Cook that I think these 3 guys get forgotten about, and they're gonna put up stats this year. So, Atlanta's defense is bad. I don't think this game is gonna. Me personally, I don't think this game is gonna be what everybody kind of thinks it's gonna be. A shootout. You got Julio and Matt Ryan, a good offense. I really think Minnesota's defense is going to be improved, man. I think that defensive line could. Anytime you can generate a pass rush with your front 4 and you can drop 7, you're going to put teams in conflict. You're going to make it hard for them to run the football. It doesn't open up the play action game, and it allows you to bring 4 and drop 7, and it kind of dominoes. So I think Atlanta will put some points up, but I really like these wide receivers and Kirk Cousins because I think everybody seems to be on Dalvin Cook.
Okay, so we're on the same page there. We're definitely on the same page. All right. Yeah, no, for sure. So let's move down a little bit. We'll get some guys under 7,000. There's a lot of – this is the only problem with paying up at wide receiver this week is I feel there's a bunch of really, really good plays that are under 7,000, and it'll allow you to kind of, get a couple of the higher priced higher priced running backs that we talked about, pay up at quarterback. Couple guys that we'll just clump them together. I like Tyler Boyd for Cincinnati. I like Godwin for Tampa Bay. He's basically a cheaper version of Evans right now, and I like Lockett at 6.8. Those guys are all within $100. What do you think about Boyd, Godwin, Lockett? That kind of price tier.
I would rather have Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods. I'm huge on the Rams, man.
Okay.
I'm just really big on the Rams. I like Cooks. I like Woods. Yes, Godwin's there. I think Tyler Boyd with no AJ Green, Seattle's defense. We talked about it on previous video. They haven't done a lot to improve that defense. Bobby Wagner, the biggest star before they acquired Javon Clowney. So Boyd, where he had a lot of solid production. I mean, you look back and he has against Baltimore an 11 target game, against Tampa Bay a 10 target game, against Atlanta 15 target game. So Boyd is probably the guy that I would like the most there. And then
exactly
going two steps down from that with Cooper Kupp and Tyler Lockett, I probably like them even better than I like Godwin
yeah,
or Golladay.
Yeah, no, I get you. I mean, the thing about Godwin is he's the number one receiver now. I'm sorry. He's gonna be opposite of Mike Evans. Mike Evans, he gets a lot of attention from the defense. People know what Mike Evans could do, and that's kind of what opens it up for Godwin. And he's the big play guy. So Godwin and Lockett, both of those guys they're kind of hit or miss. They're the big play guys compared to, like you said, with Boyd. Boyd was a target monster. So I feel, if we're talking about cash versus GPP and that price tier, Boyd would be the cash game kind of play, and Godwin and Lockett would be kind of the upside big play guys. You with me with that?
Yeah, I just think that, a couple of things you've got to take into consideration when you're talking about Godwin. Last year, they had another receiver there, Adam Humphries, correct?
Yeah.
Godwin didn't have the role he has now. So it's more of a wait and see with me, and I'm more excited about other guys. I mean, you talk about O.J. Howard, they've got him. I mean, there's a lot of big receivers. I think that's part of the reason why people are so high on Tampa Bay and Jameis Winston, because of all the weapons that he seems to have around him. He just has a tendency to turn the football over a lot. So, they don't really have a solid running game. They do have passing options, but Godwin wasn't – they were able to use Godwin in different spots this year. They've lost Humphries. They do still have O.J. Howard, but
he's the true number two.
It's wait and see for me on him.
Yeah, for sure. So now, we're going to go down. You got Moore, you got Shepard, and you got Samuel, 6.2, 6,000, and 5.9. What do you think about those? They're all really good prices. What do you think about those guys?
Above that, though, I would mention you have Jarvis Landry at 6.3, interesting tournament play. Mike Williams at 6.4, who I talked about, and Calvin Ridley at 6.5. I think they're better plays than some of these guys above them, like Godwin, Golladay, maybe even Amari Cooper, who's priced above them. So, when you get down to this level, you're talking about a DJ Moore, Corey Davis. I think the Browns are a much improved defense, and I think that they're a little under the radar as far as the defense goes. The one thing that's been solid about that team before they've gotten all these offensive weapons has been their defense.
Right.
So I'm not going to be big on him. Marvin Jones Jr. and both these Detroit wide receivers, this is one of the top 3 or 4 secondaries in all of football when you talk about who they've got in that defensive backfield, and it starts with Patrick Peterson, obviously. So I'm not real big on them either.
Yeah, no, I'm not on the Detroit receivers either. That's why I didn't even mention them, to be honest with you. Moore, Shepard, Samuels, I think that those guys that they have some upside. Shepard is clearly the number one receiver for the Giants, and we mentioned it. The Dallas's defense is really, really good. That's really what's cautioning me with Shepard this week. But at a 6,000 price tag, if he's going to get 10 targets, we know Eli's going to throw the ball. He has big play upside. I think this Shepard is an interesting play, definitely a GPP play. And then lastly, a guy we'll throw out there. I've been seeing it all around the industry. D.D. Westbrook. I think D.D. Westbrook is a guy that you just kind of put in your cash games and move on. And I know that I don't like saying that, but I just think he's going to be so high owned. He's almost going to be a free square at 5,900. I really like Westbrook this week. He has a new quarterback in Nick Foles that can actually throw the ball. So what's your thoughts on D.D. Westbrook?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail right in the head there, right? I mean, he's got a quarterback that can actually throw the football. I mean, look, you look back at last season and you look at some of the games, multiple 10-target games, multiple games with 7+ targets. So this is a bona fide number one wide receiver.
Right.
Last night we have the Bears, and I think a lot of people would consider going into that game that Allen Robinson was a bona fide number one wide receiver. I think D.D. Westbrook is will show that he's the better of.
Right.
I like Westbrook. I think that you're not going to see this price tag stay at $5,900 for very long.
Right
below him is a very, very interesting wide receiver in Deshaun Jackson, and what do you do with him?
Right.
And from a pure football standpoint, two things cross my mind with Deshaun Jackson. One, he can take the lid off the defense, right? And two, the creativity offensively that Philadelphia has shown. Go back to the Super Bowl when they run a trick play on the goal line, right? They have creativity, and you add a guy like this. I mean, I can see them coming out early and doing something creative and getting him a big play. But I can also see him being a decoy, and I can also see him be a guy who gets, 4 targets, 2 receptions, 94 yards, and a touchdown. You know what I mean?
Right.
So at 5,600, I think he's a great tournament play, an unbelievable tournament play because of the upside.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good call. The Eagles thing about it with Deshaun Jackson is he's going to get the team's third best cornerback, basically, in my opinion, because they're going to try to take away Alshon Jeffries. He had a monster year last year, showed what he can do. They're going to try to take away Zach Ertz, and he was one of the top tight ends last year. So that's going to leave somebody kind of on an island one-on-one, and I could absolutely agree with you that you could see Jackson, only 2 catches, but he has a big one that kind of breaks it. So I think that's a really, really good call. And I think that's basically where we're at with wide receivers, man. If you want to, some other position breakdowns, make sure to check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. Go take advantage of our NFL Luxury Box special. You still have time before Sunday. Use promo code NFL2019. And hey, good luck this weekend, guys. Peace out.